Okay guys, we're going to give you a little update here on what's going on with Mr. Bruce Brown's little 31 Model A. That again, in case someone asks, I'll repeat it over and over again. It's chopped 2 inches, it's channeled 5 inches. So here we go, we'll take a look. Dr. Dave's been working on the bodywork, and yes, I got to get Dr. Dave on a video here pretty quick. Maybe we'll bring Dr. Dave in here tomorrow, and we'll see if he's got any handy tips for us. He's got to have something to say, I would think. Let's check out Bruce's car anyway. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, we've gotten all the body work. This is what I call rough-in. You can call it whatever you want. I call it rough-in. The reason I call it rough-in is this is when we pull out all the dents, hammer and dolly out all the dents the best we can. Use a porta power if possible. If she's twisted up, get out the uni spotter, which is good for pulling dents too. We start pulling dents, and then we give her the we go over it all. And we give her the coat of Bondo where we need to give it. Now this car, basically, Bruce wants this car nice and straight. He wants to make it look good. And why shouldn't he? These cars are getting harder and well, they're not harder and harder to find, but they bring good money, these cars, especially the ones Bruce builds. They're just beautiful. So we kind of we've skimmed the whole car in body filler, to be honest with you. It's almost skimmed. You can see there's, you know, but as much as you see the body filler, take in mind that if you look at this, it's like, it's just very, very thin. You know what I'm saying? Like you can, it's very, you know, it's not even enough that a magnet's going to detect it, you know. It's skimming it and it's going over it. And like I say, as I call it a rough-in of bodywork, the reason for this is because I always say rough-in because this is when it's finished off in 80 grit. We finish off in 80 grit sandpaper, and then we put our 2-part filler primer on it, and I give it usually, for sure, 2 good coats, sometimes 3 good coats of filler primer. So then we give it the 3 good coats of filler primer, or 2. And then from there we leave it dry up for a good day. You know, we usually leave it for a good day or two. We just like to leave things because we got so many projects on the go. We like to leave things in case there's any kind of shrinkage. We leave it and then we'll come back, and like I say, then Dave will get in and start blocking it, and he will go with the 220. Dave will block her down with the 220, and then on this car again, we will re-primer it with a final prime. And then we'll give it its final block again by hand. It'll be ready for paint. So we're just getting ready here to prime it right now. I just thought you guys might want to take a look before it got primered. Here's what we got hanging right here that you see in front of you is the steering column, and we've got the grill shell right there. And if you do recall, you've probably seen the doors last time and the deck lid. They were all finished off. They've been primered, and now as you can see, here we go. They've been primered. Now all this stuff, I gave it 3 coats of good primer, and this was the filler primer. And as you can see where the body filler is, that's where Dave is broken through. That's where there's either a few high or low spots in there, and he broke through when he was sanding it, blocking it all by hand. And these parts now are done and ready, and they are ready for their final primer. And on the final primer, now Dave has finished these off in 220, and now on the final primer on these, after it's done, Dave will go at 320, then he'll do it at 420, and sometimes we'll leave it finished off in 420. We never go past 500 grit. That's it. So that's about it. If you recall our Mustang Fastback that was back on a few videos, there we go. I picked up the new quarters for it today and the new inner fender for it. Also, we've been working on Brandon's truck, his 70 Chevy pickup. So we're getting it all done. We got the air ride all working now. The truck still ain't running yet because I'm still waiting for the proper headers. I got the power steering all hooked up, got the brake booster on, the master cylinder, we got the grill in it. We're starting to go to town on this one too, so I'd like to get this truck out of here for next month before the bad weather comes. So Brandon's truck is up in the air and we're working away on that. What else can I tell you that's gone on here? Let me see here. If you do remember, we had the little T-Bird out here that we were working on for Corey, the 58 T-Bird. Well, you can see it's sitting down on the ground now. Sun's probably in the way here. It's sitting down on the ground, and we've got all the new brakes in it. We put everything new in this car. New wheel cylinders, new brake lines, new hoses. What else do we do? New brake shoes, the master cylinder's new. We replaced a lot of the steel brake lines, not all of them, but a lot of them, and the Thunderbird is ready to go. Corey's going to be picking that up tomorrow, and it's out the door. So I'll give it a wash for him tonight on my own time. I can't do that on company time because then I'm losing wages, but you know, the least I can do is wash the car for him. You know, that's what you do for guys, right? The car's kind of dirty, and he bought it and brought it over here, so I'll give it a nice wash job and clean it up for him. So that'll be it. So hey, what can I say? Remember, it's always a good time, an old time. At least that's what Dave tells me every day, even though I'm bitching and cursing. So big thumbs up, and I got to get the primer in. Okay, see you later. Whew. Thank God. Remember, your mask. Don't throw it in a jar. I mean, don't throw it in a drawer. Don't leave it hang up in the air. Don't do any of that kind of shit with it. Get yourself an old coffee can. Get yourself any kind of can. Put your mask inside the can and put the can away somewhere. You want to keep this mask clean. Cheap filters ain't cheap and all that kind of shit. And what can I tell you? You want to keep it clean. So a good idea is a coffee can, old cookie jar, anything. Put it inside of there. Don't just leave it hanging around your shop, guys. Okay? So we're done. We primered. And you know what's next? Be right back in a sec. What's next is, it is 20 to 7. Started at 7:30, it's 20 to 7 tonight. Next is a beer. Cheap, nasty, bush beer for the evening. And I don't know. If you're a beer drinker, give me a big fucking hell yeah. And for those of you that aren't, sometimes I like to do on a hard evening, after a hard day I should say in the evening, I grab myself a Coca-Cola and a glass bottle, just like in the 50s. I sit back, like we all do. I open this up and I sit back and I admire what I've done for the day. Have you ever done something really good outside at night? You've worked on something, whether it's your own project or for a customer, and you go in the house and you're damn proud of it. And you sit and you think about it. And all of a sudden you're sitting on the sofa and you're all relaxed and you jump out and you run out to your garage and you just got to look at it one more time. You're just so happy of what happened. Well, I'm happy Bruce's car is primered, and I'm happy tomorrow's payday. See ya.